You have music. You have to turn your music off. Thank you. I know, but I gotta get this going first. Thumbs up if you're good. I don't see where we are going live. Okay.
You gotta have that footwork for that beat.
My issue is it's not showing up in this. Start. I did that already.
It's not coming up on Facebook at all.
Mm-mm. Copy.
This is why practice runs.
Settings.
It should be coming up on our podcast, but it's not. Give me 1 second.
Streaming resolution. Streaming. It's saying it won't start the live event. It's unable to start it.
So it's unable to start it from your Instagram as well?
From YouTube.
I mean, your Facebook as well?
It's asking for a screen key.
Can I set up a phone and just have someone go live
Yeah.
at this point? Because, I mean,
Can you put this
I'm asking him right now. He's doing it right now.
into your, can you put that in?
Yeah, I just need a URL so that this is the key. This is like the code. You want me to place like a URL, send it to all this. We messed it up.
The streaming key is valid. Let's see, okay. Where would I get the URL
Let's
from?
see what kind of shot we get from it.
So like here, if I try to go live,
Copy.
I just need something to balance it out.
Guys, we're having trouble streaming right now. So give us a second. It's just this to get everything going live on. I don't know how to like I don't
I can't hear you. Mm.
Good news.
Good evening.
Good evening, brother.
It's good to see you guys on the call tonight.
What's up, Anthony? How you doing, bro?
Good evening. Good evening.
Good, good. Is that Kobina? Hey, yo, what's going on? It's always good
Copy,
seeing you, bro.
copy. Good to be seen, my brother. Good to be seen and not viewed.
Listen, man. When I grow up, I want to be like you one day.
Hey, man, you don't never grow up then, man. Never grow up.
Nah. Always striving, brother. Always
Stay young.
striving.
Stay young.
What's going on, good brother? How you?
Hey, what's going on, man? How you doing, man?
Hey, man, living the dream, man. Trying to at
I
least.
know. Yo, it's crazy, man. It's crazy, man. You know, but you know what? We're dealing with a lot of different situations right now, but you know, collectively, you have to stay together. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
Well, absolutely. Yeah. Hey, brother Sean, I'm actually speaking at your regionals on April 11th down there in I think it's in New Jersey. So I'm gonna be I'm gonna be bringing greetings on behalf of IOTA.
Man, I see you there. Yeah, that's our Province Council. That's I think April 9th through the 12th, I think it is. Yeah.
That's correct. Yeah. So you know I gotta do IOTA style. So I gotta give you guys. I got one of my brothers working on a piece of wood that we're gonna present to you guys there. So it's you know, we're working on it right now.
Okay. Well, look forward to it, man. Looking forward to it.
Come on, man. You know me. I have to bring it out. I have to bring it out. So this way, you guys are represented.
Appreciate you.
Always.
Hey, did I see you at the Greek Sunday down in St. James?
Yes, sir.
Tuesday,
Yeah, I was
right?
down there.
Yeah, I thought I saw you.
Yeah, I was a light skinned brother. You saw that. Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
man. Oh, I gotta plug this laptop up. 1 second.
Good news? Nope. Yes, not.
Guys, we're trying to just figure this
I'm
out.
so sorry, guys. This is horrible. Just bear with us, please.
Let me see if we can go to.
I'm like, cancel. I don't want to do that.
You're good as long as you continue to play house music. You're all right.
So I'm trying to join from my phone. So I think it's waiting for me to be accepted.
Okay, I don't see, I only see people in the chat. I don't see anybody.
So Thelma, you can't, right now, we need to focus on getting this part done before anyone switches over because
I'm just
we're
trying to,
already
oh,
22 minutes behind.
okay, we are live. Oh. Shit. It stopped.
Are you still on their internet access?
Newsfeed, you're not.
Don't worry about it. I'll stay on this one.
On to this. It just stopped. Go live. Live producer Facebook. Came here. Then I came down here. And I shared my screen. Riverside. Share. And then everybody was there. Tab in Facebook. Close that. Okay, go live now. Go live now. Add a title. Go live. Okay. That's what it, and it keeps stopping it.
So just leave it on yours.
No, it's that's where it's stopping it. Every time I start it, it stops it. So so it must be something that's going through the, what's the name? It's stopping it automatically.
No, turn the music off. Even though that's not.
Yeah, they're just beats. I'm just trying to.
Just try more time.
Yeah, and as soon as it starts, it stops. Webcam. Okay, one in the waiting room. That's Candelario. Live producer. I'm gonna shut it down. Live producer. Webcam. Okay. Go live. Okay. Let's try this again. All right. So here we are. Hit the live screen. And then it says go live. Go live. 3, 2, 1. Start the screen share. Every time I kick the start the screen share, it kicks me off. Your video will be posted. Yeah, it kicks me off every time.
So again, we have to do something different. So
Okay, YouTube. Okay. Yes. Show me where to find. What's that?
Yeah, let me get it for
What
you.
what is the password? Damn, I just did this stuff. Oh. Continue. Okay, so
Once you're in your YouTube, go to YouTube Studio. Just like go to your little thing here,
mhm.
and then
No. That's still
yeah, this is
Facebook.
still Facebook.
Hold on. YouTube. Sign in. EduTalks. The Three Stooges. A7. Next. Okay. Okay, there we are. How we get on there?
Is that a previous episode?
No, that's now.
Okay, come on.
Okay, we go. Yeah.
I'm not doing it. Just so you know. That looks like it's coming from Riverside.
Okay.
Okay.
Thelma.
Yeah.
You have to that
Right. Okay, it's live. Hold on.
You'll have to mute on your end, otherwise you're gonna hear that coming out of your speakers.
But how they?
Just on the screen. Yep, right there. The speaker there.
Okay.
now you have to post this so people can start texting me asking me what's going on.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe you can post the link to the video.
Yes, I will. Copy on Facebook. This is like ending right here.
All right, folks. We can't apologize enough. This is the first time shooting from the new location at Seton Hall. We're going to have to just go live via YouTube. And so we're going to share the link for everyone who's trying to get on, because for some reason, I don't know if it's because we're on this campus now, it's not going through to Facebook.
The powers that be.
Yeah, this is interesting.
Yeah, it's
So you can turn that
interesting
back on, please.
because it's showing.
Okay. Okay. No. Did you post that on Instagram and Facebook?
I just did Facebook.
Because people have to know where they're going.
They click on that, it'll go right to Facebook.
What I'm saying is people who are going on Instagram and Facebook now who can't find it, they need to know.
Okay, so I'm gonna do it for Instagram.
Can you do it from back there on your phone so we can go ahead and so they can start?
I can't create.
If you're going live on YouTube there, that's not helping us out because they're not seeing the whole thing.
Like I can see us.
What I don't know about Riverside is if the pins are you can pull up Riverside. What I don't know about Riverside is if the pins are local, meaning like if you pin here, am I going to be able to pin?
Are you gonna be able to pin from in there?
Right.
Hmm.
How come?
I don't know why that's there.
Well, this is the one I'm trying to get to. It's because I'm a producer view. Yeah, just because of the way Riverside is set up, I don't think we're going to be able to do it like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Do it like
normally you would take my camera
Mm-hmm.
right, and make it full screen, like in
Mhm.
Zoom or in Teams or whatever, and then that's what would be streaming out.
Okay.
We could still try to set up the stream to YouTube from the switcher. I know I can stream to YouTube from the switcher, and then the YouTube feed would be what's switched. You know. So I mean, did you put your YouTube stream into Riverside? Is that how you're doing it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But it was supposed to be Riverside and YouTube and what's the name?
And Facebook.
Right.
Right.
So now if they go on,
Yeah, the stream would not be. It would not be what's been switched.
Which is what I was saying
Yeah.
out there. Which means basically they're just going to see the Riverside setup. They won't see any of this.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Yeah. Like if we streamed from the switcher, they would see.
Which is why she should have just let you do what you were doing, because this is all taking way more
Well,
time, and it's
well, the thing is it kept cutting us off.
no, but he was saying he was going to do it through there, but then you did it through here.
When
it
I went
popped
on,
up.
it was already
yeah,
on.
but
Yeah.
he should have just finished that at this point.
If this session was set up like it was previously, and again, I don't know how Riverside works, but if this session was pre-set up with the YouTube streaming information, when she hit go live, it might have just gone automatically.
I think that's what it
Correct.
did. Yeah.
So, I mean, in that case, if you stop the stream,
At this point, we don't have time.
yeah,
We're like 30 minutes out, so it's just going to be what it is.
we'll still have the recording on this end.
Okay. But by this time, it's
You're going to have to push that back more because I'm not going to be able to see that.
the only other thing is if you can log
No,
on.
it doesn't have to be pushed back that much. You can just leave it where you had it. All right, folks. We are so sorry for all of the technical difficulties that we've had with regard to the transition to our new location. But looks like we're going to have to go and do this just through YouTube. So if you can just let your folks know that they can join the YouTube. I believe the information was just posted on Instagram and on Facebook as well, so that they can transition to Instagram. Are we ready to go? Can you guys hear us?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, we're gonna go back. Mike, we're gonna take it from the beginning. Is that okay? All right, 3, 2, 1. Welcome to Downtown EduTalks, the podcast that slices through the conventional fabric of urban education with a razor-sharp wit and a touch of scholarly sass. It is Dr. Passion and Dr. T. Ramsey here, the first time on our new home campus, Seton Hall University. It's a beautiful studio. We do apologize for the inconvenience with the timing. However, there were some technical difficulties that we were trying to navigate here. So unfortunately, we're only streaming through YouTube today, but hopefully before we hit this next month, we can get things moving in the right direction. And so we're going to keep it going, and I'm going to start off by acknowledging our wonderful guests who are joining us today. And I'm going to start off with the one and only my soror, Dr. Marcella McCoy Day. She is a Philadelphia native and an associate professor of American Studies at Thomas Jefferson University. She has been a member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated since 1988. Dr. McCoy Day is an alumni of Morgan State University and Bowling Green State University, where she received her master's and her PhD. Her dissertation research focused on the unofficial traditions of African American fraternities and sororities, brands, calls, and step shows. Her chapter on calls is published in the 2005 book, African American Fraternities and Sororities, The Legacy and the Vision. She is also a writer and an avid traveler. Please clap it up for Dr. Marcella McCoy Day. Also, we have joining us the one and only Mr. Richard Ritty Wyatt, who is a lifelong Plainfield resident, born and raised in the city he loves and proudly calls home. He is a dedicated community advocate and leader. Richard is passionate about creating a brighter future for all residents of Plainfield. With a history of service as a member and president of the Plainfield Board of Education and as a current councilman, he has consistently fought for equity, transparency, and progress. Richard's deep understanding of Plainfield's past, present, and future, combined with his commitment to the voices of the people, fuels his determination to lead Plainfield into a new era of growth, opportunity, and pride. He is not just a leader, he is Plainfield's son, working tirelessly to ensure the city's legacy thrives for generations to come. He is also a proud member of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. Please clap it up for Richard Ritty Wyatt. Next up, we have Miss Brenda Brown. Brenda Brown has her bachelor's degree in psychology from William Patterson University. Shout out to William Patterson, my mom's alma mater. She also has a master's degree in administrative science from Fairleigh Dickinson University and a master's degree in social work from the Kane University. She is the 12th and immediate past president of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, Pi Xi Omega chapter, serving the Patterson and Passaic County community for 38 years. Previously, she served as Passaic County's Director of Mental Health and Addiction Services from 2017 to 2021. She is currently serving as a school social worker, and she is also the owner of Brown Consulting LLC. She is also the proud mom of a student who is getting ready to head off to college. Please clap it up, for Miss Brown. Next up, we have Kabina Thomas, who is a member of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated. And he is also a retired United Parcel Services sales manager, responsible for sales execution, training, and sales development. He spent 32 years with his company. Kabina also has a Bachelor of Science degree in marketing from New Jersey City University and a master's degree in international business from St. Peter's University. Kabina currently works as a substitute teacher within the Plainfield, New Jersey Board of Education. We got a lot of Plainfield folks joining us today. Kabina is actively engaged in this community, volunteering his time, mentoring student leaders throughout the state of New Jersey. Kabina is also the board president of Sigma Community Enrichment Initiative, Incorporated, 501c3, and he is also the New Jersey State Area Director of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated. And Kabina is an avid golfer, and he enjoys traveling. Clap it up for Brother Kabina, who is joining us. Next up, we have a mighty panel for you. We have Kimyata M. Pitts. She serves as the 16th New Jersey State Director of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated. Born and raised in Camden, New Jersey, to teenage parents Rosemary Pitts and Keith McCrae, Senior. Kenyatta's journey within Zeta Phi Beta sorority began during her undergraduate years at Rutgers University Camden campus, where she also played a pivotal role in the chartering of her chapter. Ms. Pitts earned her bachelor's degree in social work and African American studies in May of 1995 from Rutgers University. She is a Diamond Life member and has held numerous positions within her sorority locally, regionally, and nationally. In her professional life, Kenyatta Pitts is dedicated to probation work in the state of New Jersey, where she has served for 27 hardcore years. Her commitment to advocacy is evident in her roles and through the many awards that she has received. Please clap it up for Ms. Pitts. Next up, we're almost to the end, folks. We have Brother Sean Harris, Sr., who is a graduate of our new home, Seton Hall University's campus, and he has a master's degree in human resources training development. He has extensive experience in law enforcement. He is a retired police captain of the Orange, New Jersey Police Department and a 30-year police veteran. Currently, Sean is an adjunct professor at Union College of New Jersey, teaching criminal justice coursework. He is a member of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated, initiated into the Iota Epsilon chapter in the spring of 1990 here at your very own Seton Hall University campus. Sean serves as the Polmark president of Maplewood Orange's alumni chapter of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated, which services the community of Maplewood and the Oranges. Please clap it up for Brother Sean, who is also my son's husband. He is joining us this evening. Next up, we have Brother Miguel Rodriguez, who is a special education high school educator. This brother is also an activist, mental health advocate, and he's a member of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. He is also the area director for the Dominican Republic Caribbean region. Mr. Rodriguez is also a Black Lives Matter Patterson organizer, Boys and Girls Club team coordinator, basketball coach, trainer, mentor, Calvary Baptist Church member, community activist, and advocate for the betterment of our brothers and sisters. Mr. Rodriguez is a graduate of the Stockton University and earned his master's degree from Rowan University. Clap it up for Brother Rodriguez. And last but certainly not least, we have Brother Anthony Candelario, and I do hope that I pronounced your name correctly. He is a graduate of Rutgers University, New Brunswick, and a brother of Iota Phi Theta Fraternity Incorporated. He is also the former National Director of Undergraduate Affairs and presently Regional Treasurer and Community Impact Director for the state of New Jersey. Presently, he is involved in working and focusing on the work that we are doing here in the state with students who have autism. He is also, along with his fraternity members, into voting rights, mentorship, men's empowerment, and providing network opportunities for all. In his professional capacity, he serves as the payroll director at Capital Health Hospital. Please clap it up for Brother Anthony. So as you can see, we have a hardcore panel of folks joining us. Boy, oh boy, that was a mouthful, but guess what? We have to make sure that we share about these amazing kings and queens so that you know who's bringing it to you this evening as we join you. So again, I want to thank everyone for joining us again. We do apologize for the delay, but we know that this is a very important topic that we will be sharing this evening. And we can't wait to get started with the folks that we have. And so I'm going to start off by having our panelists just tell you a little bit about, and we're going to move because again, we know we're a little behind, so we're going to move very quickly, but I want them to tell you a little bit about their fraternities and their sororities as we get started this evening. So I am going to start off with the person I just ended with. So we're going to start off with Anthony. Can you please just share with our viewers a little bit about your fraternity, Anthony?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. It's an honor to be here. Iota Phi Theta Fraternity Incorporated, founded on the steps of a Hershey Gymnasium, Morgan State University, by 12 young men, with focus on the 5 principles: citizenship, fidelity, leadership, scholarship, brotherhood. Over 300 chapters nationwide, and over 30,000 brothers as of this date. So thank you very much for having us.
Thank you. Thank you for joining. Next up, Richard.
Yeah, so Omega Psi Phi was founded November 17, 1911 on the campus of Howard University by 4 men. Our cardinal principles are manhood, scholarship, perseverance, and uplift. And today we are still striving and pushing forward, leaning on those cardinal principles and setting the pace as we always do.
Thank you, Richard. Next up, let's go to one of our ladies, a soror.
Good evening, everyone. Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated was founded January 13th, 1913. Our founding and alpha chapter is at Howard University. We operate on our 5-point programmatic thrust: educational development, economic development, political awareness and involvement, international awareness and involvement, and physical and mental health. Public service is what we do.
Thank you so much. Next up, Sister Brenda.
Yes, good evening. Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated was founded in 1908 on the campus of Howard University. We were the first Black Greek-lettered sorority, and we provide service to all mankind. Right now, we are at our 94th North Atlantic Regional Conference at Mohegan Sun. So thank you for having us, and it's a pleasure being here.
Thank you. Next up, Sister Pitt. We can't hear you, Sister Pitt. I think you're muted.
Good evening. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can. Yes.
Yes. January the 16th, 1920, on the on campus of Howard University. 5 visionary collegiate women founded Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated. Those founders were Arizona Cleveland Simmons, Pearl Ann Neal, Merla Tyler Faithful, Viola Tyler Goins, and Fanny Patty Watts. These courageous ladies decided to establish this organization through the midst of adversity, and 105 years from now, we honor their legacy not in just some words but in action, upholding our founding principle of scholarship, service, sisterhood, and final womanhood. We are Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated.
Thank you so much. Next up, let's hear from Brother Harris.
Good evening, everyone. Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated was founded January 5th, 1911 on the campus of Indiana University. And we believe, and our motto is achievement in every field of human endeavor.
Very nice. Next up, thank you, Brother Kabina.
Good evening, everybody. Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity was founded January 9th, 1914 at Howard University by 3 outstanding men: Leonard Francis Morse, Charles I. Brown, and also Abraham Langston Taylor. We represent over 200 brothers throughout the world, and the impact that we've had over our 111 years has been vast, and we'll talk about some of that tonight. But it's great to be here, great to share some knowledge with everybody.
Thank you so much. And last but certainly not least, Brother Rodriguez.
Good afternoon, everybody. Pleasure to be here. Before I talk about the fraternity, I just want to say this is an incredible panel, and I'm a little intimidated, so I just want to say I have to do more. After listening to everybody, I'm not going to lie, I'm beyond it. After listening to everybody, I have to do more. So shout out to everybody. So actually a little motivation. Miguel Rodriguez, representing Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. We were founded on December 4th, 1906 at Cornell University, Ithaca, New York, which is an Ivy League school. And we're all about Millie D, scholarship, and love for all mankind. And I'm here to represent us, the D9, and to make sure we continue the legacy.
Fantastic. We love it. Did I get everyone? All right, so we're going to jump right into this. And as we jump into it, I'm going to see if I can get a couple of the Seton Hall young folks to come up behind us and give us some waves and some shout outs. So Mike, if you guys hear us out there, you can get some of the young folks to come up and give us a shout out. So I'm going to, here we go. I'm going to throw this second question out to Richard. And as you know, the name of our podcast is Downtown Edutalks. And so if you hadn't had a chance to kind of check us out, I want you to just kind of vibe with us for a minute. So the downtown really comes from the fact that we know that our focus is really on urban education. For many of us, we work in these inner city urban areas where there are downtowns, and the edge comes from knowledge, right? The edge portion of knowledge, but it's a play on words for the edgy conversations that we sometimes need to have about not only education, but about those topics that we may not necessarily see as connecting to education, but they do, right? And so that's where the connection comes from. And so for our high school viewers, I want them to hear from you, folks who have gone through this process on an undergrad level, on a graduate level. Some of you have pledged at HBCUs, others have pledged at institutions, predominantly white institutions. I want them to hear from you. And so here's the first question. What are the most important things that high school seniors should know before deciding to join a sorority or fraternity? And how can they prepare themselves for the recruitment process? Again, what are some of the important things that high school students should know before they decide to join an organization like ours? And what should they do to prepare themselves for the recruitment process? I'm going to throw this first question to Richard, and then we'll have folks kind of jumping in.
Okay, yes, that's a great question, and I actually deal with that. I answer that question on a consistent basis when talking to the youth in the community. But one of the things that I believe they need to do is decide, before they decide to join a fraternity or a sorority, is to understand that Greek life is more than just a social event. So a lot of people, they see that and they say, you know what, I want to be a part of that. This brotherhood and sisterhood is more than that. It's a lifelong commitment. We're talking about service, leadership, and those type of things. So the research is key. So we have to make sure that we have the phones, we have internet. Do the research, find the right fraternity or sorority, look it up, like-minded individuals, look at their values, some of their principles, and see what aligns with you. Also, look at people that you look up to, whether it's stars, celebrities, people who are historians who have done groundbreaking things. Start looking at them and say, okay, I align with these people, look up to them. Also, your GPA, make sure that your GPA is up so you have to hit the books. And other than that, just make sure that you're prepared for the process, because it is a commitment, time management, and just make sure that you have a strong sense of self.
I love that. And I love how you're focusing on those areas that are important, right? Sometimes they get to see the stepping and all that good stuff, and they don't know the work behind the scenes, and they don't know the community service and the advocating. Anyone like to jump in and add to that, Kabina?
Yeah, you know what? I think the first priority for any student is to matriculate or graduate from college, right? That's the first thing. Obviously researching all of these organizations, but I think you got to understand it's a lifelong experience, right? For me, it happened in 1986 at then Jersey City State College, now New Jersey City University. And, I can't speak to making sure that you just get your education. These organizations hopefully will last forever, but listen, I think the first priority has got to be school, and especially that first year. Enjoy your college experience, and you know what? Within that experience, hopefully you'll get some knowledge about these organizations, and you'll be able to select the best one for you.
Thank you. Here's another question. What are some common challenges or misconceptions about Greek life that high school students should be aware of before joining? I'm going to throw that one to Brenda, and then I'd like for Brother Rodriguez to follow up. Again, that's what are some of the common challenges and misconceptions about Greek life that high school students should be aware of before joining?
So many times they believe our organizations are here for partying, that all we do is party. And sometimes they may, think that we're similar to some of the other, organizations that are not of color. But we are very service oriented above all. Of course, being really in tune with education. The other thing is that it's just a college thing, and that after we leave college, we should be done with it. So, you run into people who say, oh, you're still participating in that? Yes, it's a lifelong commitment that I'm happy to be a part of. And the other thing I would say is that people believe that our organizations don't get along. But there's a common thread amongst us, and we really have love for other organizations, our D9 brothers and sisters. So I think those are some misconceptions that I can think of right now.
Thank you.
Good job. To piggyback on what my lovely Sora said, but one of the biggest, especially nowadays, misconceptions is that we are not a gang. We are not a cult. A lot of the younger generations think that all fraternities now, oh, you guys just this, that, gangs with suits and ties. That's a negative. We're not a gang. We're not a cult. We're actually an organization to betterment students' life and in our communities. Another big misconception is what my Sora said, that we all don't get along. That's not true. Everybody gets along because we have a common goal and a common vision. Everybody just goes about it a different way, their own unique way. But most of us have the same vision, which is, of course, the betterment of our people, our colleges, our communities, and, of course, doing the service. And this is a life thing. A lot of them think it's just a college experience. When it's not, it's actually for life. Pretty much Greek life is what you make it.
Thank you. T. Ramsey, it's interesting that Sister Brenda mentioned the cult part of it. Just recently, my daughter came home and said that one of her friends at school told her that her mother said that she found out that I was Greek, that, oh no, she couldn't be a part of that because it was a cult.
Oh, wow.
So I mean, to your point, there are individuals who really believe that we're cults, and they feel that the work that we do is not necessarily work that is positive work. And so my response to that, of course, was, tell your friend that it's good to do research so that, families have a better understanding. But I will say this as well. I do feel that sometimes some of our foreign-born brothers and sisters who have parents who were not born in this country, who are not aware of it, they tend to have that perception, some of them, and that's where most of their information is coming from. And so nothing's wrong. Listen, we don't know, right? But nothing's wrong with sharing accurate information so that we can definitely be more informed. And so I'm glad that Sister Brenda actually mentioned and what she shared, and also that Miguel mentioned what he shared as well. Here's my next question. How do sororities and fraternities foster a sense of community and support? And what can students expect in terms of personal growth and development? Because I think that's another piece that's sometimes missing, right? It's about what can you do for the organization, but it's also a lot that the organization can do for you in order to build you up. So let's turn that one over to Sean.
Okay, can you repeat it, because it's two parts to it.
Yeah, it was a lot. It was a mouthful, right? How do sororities and fraternities foster a sense of community support? And what can students expect in terms of their own personal growth and their own personal development?
So in all of the D9 organizations, it's all about community service, providing different things to the community. Like, for example, two of our national programs is the Guide Right and Kappa Liga programs, where we mentor young men. And that mentoring goes from grammar school all the way to high school, where we also provide scholarships and things for them. So the D9 organizations foster the community because we are active in the community. We do different. All of us do different things. I'm quite sure I'm speaking for everybody because we all basically do the same types of things. Where we're active with, let's say, book bags and stuff for kids, helping with education and mentoring and all that stuff. So that's where they foster that. What's the second part? The second question again?
Well, how does it help them with their own personal growth and their own personal development as well?
Okay. So with personal growth and development, a lot of times when you're in college, I know I'm speaking, not only speak for myself. When you're young and you're new to college, you're matriculating through your classes and you're looking to be a part of something, and you want to belong to the university that you're at, right? So you think of joining clubs, like we have Black Student Union and some other groups and organizations that we want to be a part of. So you're looking to be a part of something to help you get through. But when it comes to D9, our alumni chapters, we mentor the undergraduate chapters, and we give them a sense of I'm sorry. We give them a sense of things that we offer. We again, mentorship. I'm having such a brain freeze right now.
What happens when you're young?
This is true. Oh my God. What is it that we do when we reach out and we're able to do things for one another, and we send them to different places? Networking. There you go. So we're able to network with the young people. We're able to give them jobs and things like that, because think about the people that's in your chapters, all of the different professions that we have, right? So it's a pipeline coming from being a young person in college, graduating and going and getting into the alumni chapters. You already have a sense of networking from brothers and sisters that have these professions. So that's what we provide for them.
And when you say that, something comes to my mind too, because when we think of Greek life for students, for white students, that was automatically embedded in terms of being a networking. So our Greek organizations, we take it a step further, because a lot of their Greek organizations, and not to compare one against the other, say one is worse than the other, better than the other, but what happens with them is when they leave college, that's the end of their association with their fraternities and sororities. However, the networking is still there because the CEO of whatever company was part of Sigma Pi or whatever, or was a teak or whatever. So they continue to have those opportunities to network. However, ours takes it a step further with the networking and also the community service and the things that we do to uplift our communities and go back to our communities to do service.
Do we know that for a fact, that that's how it works? I mean, I'll be honest with you. I don't know enough about their organizations to speak to exactly how it works.
Yeah, when they don't have graduate chapters. No, for the most part, they don't have graduate chapters. They don't.
I can speak on that. Being an alum times 2 from Seton Hall University, the Teaks and the Skulls, and a few of the other organizations. Specifically, these guys talk about, oh no, when I graduate, I already have a job already, because my frat, my frat brother is this person, that person. So that is a fact.
Oh no, I know that part's a fact. I was referencing the graduate chapters. I that's new information. I never knew that they didn't have graduate chapters.
They don't have graduate chapters.
Wow. So that's new information. See, learn something every day, because I didn't know that at all.
But the networking is deep.
Yeah, they definitely have the networking. Definitely. Yeah. Kimyata, I do know that Zetas also do a lot of work with young ladies as well. What can you share with us as far as your take on how the support that you give to these young sisters shows up when it comes to personal growth and personal development? What have you noticed in working with the young ladies?
As if some of you don't know, Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated has youth auxiliaries. So we start with them. We call our pearlettes starting at age 5 all the way up to age 18, and provide mentorship for these young ladies, showing them how to give back to their communities at the young age of 5, and helping and just molding them in what we call our Girls to Pearls program, to nurture them, to show them how finding women works in the community, how finding women acts in the community, and also instilling them about the academic foundation of doing well in school and making sure that education is the key factor, as well as being a good servant to the community. So, one of the biggest things for our organization is leadership and peer mentorship, and to making sure that those young ladies grow into find a person so that they give back to their communities.
I noticed that we do have, a few individuals who are educators who are on the panel, and T. Ramsey, your former high school administrator. Have you noticed over the years that student leaders at the high school level, that they do not know as much about fraternities and sororities, or have you noticed that they tend to know more than when you were actually in high school?
They don't know as much. I think they do know from the perspective. I think around the time that some of the movies came out, like A Stomp the Yard and Drumline, that's when you start to see them understand, what it meant, and do a little bit more digging and research into what it is. I think how we do make our high school students know, I think every organization on here has a youth group. So, Delta has gyms and Embody. The Kappas have the Kappa Leaguers, the Sigma Beta Club. So I think those youth groups are the way that we're able to make our presence known to high school students. So as they transition into, I have a lot of girls that went through Delta Academy that are now Deltas, So I think that those programs help introduce what being part of Greek organizations is all about.
I totally agree. It's definitely a help. I've never been a high school administrator, but I definitely have noticed. I feel like when I was in school, there was more conversations about Greek life, where I don't hear a lot of that kind of going on, unless, as you said, kids have gone through the programs that we have.
Can I add to that?
Sure.
I was gonna say, well, now it's more better, especially because it depends on your leadership. Like at my school, my vice principal is a Q. The second vice principal that we have is AKA, and then of course I have myself. So we actually have a D9 committee, and just for Black History Month, we had a D9 display where all D9 were included, including the Masons. So we made sure everybody had like their own locker room outside in front of the school, and it was done for the first time in our county, and it's still there. Unless the principal tells me to take it down, because I was in charge of it, I'm not taking it down. But it all, like I said, it goes back to the leadership. It goes back to the staff getting to know each other and having that bond, because we do every Friday, we do our Para Friday. We always talk about HBCUs. We always talk about the D9, and we always give the students the open free market to ask us questions. Because, 9 out of 10, there's a Greek in all schools nowadays now.
Yeah.
I know that for a fact. And somebody may have somebody, oh, you're this, you're that. So it's always good. So
no, you're totally right about that. And I think many of us, we do the same things. We partner a lot with with members of the D9 in order to help our student leaders to know about it, because it's not like years ago when your kids knew about it, right? We even created organizations within schools, and we mimicked things. We had step shows, things. Exactly. So I think it's good that schools are doing that. And I think it's important that we start to see more of that happening in our suburban schools as well, where they may be predominantly white school districts, because what we also know over the years is that while these are predominantly Black fraternities and sororities, you do have individuals who are of other ethnic backgrounds that end up joining as well. So I think that it is good to make sure that young folks have a firm understanding of our organizations and how they work. Here's my next question. This is one of those touchy subjects, but we know that it's also real. And with the background that you all have within your organizations and your experiences, I can't think of a better group of folks to kind of speak to this. for those parents who may be watching, and us as well, not just our student leaders. We know that tragic incidents can bring attention to the dangers of hazing in Greek life. How can sororities and fraternities take proactive steps to ensure the safety of new members? I'm going to say that one more time. We know that there's some tragic incidents that come to mind. We even have some more recent incidents that have occurred as well. As it relates to hazing in Greek organizations, how can sororities and fraternities take proactive steps in ensuring the safety of new members? I'm going to throw this one to Anthony.
Oh, well, that's a great question. That's a great question. I think we have to change the mindset. I think what happens is that me being a Mason, in addition to being a brother of Iota Phi Theta, we have to understand that our young people are being subject to things, especially on the police level, law enforcement, and we're doing things behind the scenes possibly that should not be done. So part of me being the national director of undergraduate affairs for my fraternity, my phone is always going off I can't tell you, every 15, 20 minutes. So one thing we have to do, we need a grad chapter to be associated with every undergrad. We need that. I believe most for the fraternities and sororities are doing that now. We need a one-on-one mentorship where if you have 20 people online, you have 20 separate people they can call where to have that dialogue, to have that conversation. The other thing I think that's vitally important, especially on the undergrad level, is that we need to be more accessible to the parents. The parents' number one responsibility is that they want to see their kid graduate. And for people of black and brown community, our number one goal is for them to graduate, regardless of their pledging a sorority or fraternity. But I think the problem we have sometimes is that there's a lack of communication. So maybe if we increase that communication via whether it's between the undergrad, grad level, or that mentorship, then they feel comfortable that the young lady or the young man is going through a process, but it's not something that we consider quote unquote hazing. I think we have to be more open with the parents, be more connected to the parents. I think part of the problem is that sometimes I pledged in 1984. A lot of stuff was done behind the scenes where we need to be a little bit more upfront. And I think that would go a long way into making
Your volume just went out, Anthony.
No, I think that goes a long way into both parties would feel comfortable, because the bottom line is that we need our young men and young kings and queens to graduate.
That's right.
And so I think having that open dialogue and open communication goes a long way.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Richard, we know that you're really, really active in your community when it comes to the young kings. And I know that you do a lot of mentorship. You even have your own mentoring program and things of that nature. So I know you have something to add to this topic as well.
Yes, and just to back up when we talked about the recent events, Southern University, a young man that passed away.
Richard, 1 second. You're kind of you're going in and out a little bit, Richard. I thought before it was on our end, but I just hear it again.
Okay, can you hear me now? Can you hear me okay?
That's better. Yep, that's better.
Can you hear that?
Okay. Yep, that's better.
All right, so I was saying that my heart goes out to the young man that was family from Southern University who passed away, as well as the young men that were involved, because of their lives, maybe all has impacted. So I just want to make the statement be very clear that hazing has no place when it comes to Greek life. We have to start being serious about that and making sure that, like you said, the grad level, the national level, the state level, they have policies in place. So we just have to make sure that the younger people are adhering to those policies. Because if you look at that case, there was young people in charge, and then they just took things way too far, and now they have to pay the ultimate price, which was his life, and they will be stuck in years behind bars. So look at it from that aspect, as the D9, and we all have to do better. And yes, ensuring those things, making sure that we are educating our young people and continue to be bridge builders throughout the entire process. So education, transparency, and commitment to brotherhood and sisterhood is what the process that should look like, not intimidation and not those other things. So I tell my young people all the time that they see me, they I'm like, man, but then watch the news, see that going on. There was plenty of questions that they had. So I had to let them know that help navigate through that. And you have to tell our young people in high school as well, if something is going on that you feel uncomfortable about, about the legacy and things that went on. If something is going on, you have to say something, speak up about it. We can't have incidents like this happen to our people and our young scholars.
Preach.
I'd like to add to that.
Sure.
So exactly what Brother Richard was saying. All of our organizations have their anti-hazing policies, right? Absolutely. But how are we really enforcing them? You know, we have to really hold people accountable and let them know that this is serious business. Now, again, I was a police officer for 30 years, right? And back in 1992, when I got on the job, hazing was like a 4th-degree crime, almost like a disorderly persons. However, Governor Murphy, I think like 5 years ago, made hazing a 2nd-degree crime. Like, you will go to jail if you are accused of hazing. Like this is serious business. And again, the education of it, see something, say something, is exactly what Brother Richard was saying. This is serious, and we really have to. I really want to say more for our younger members of all our organizations have to really understand that it is so much at risk with the names of our organizations, with the rich history of our organizations, as we move forward. That this type of things cannot go on, especially because guess what? I'm quite sure the gentleman from the Omegas didn't mean to cause the death of this young man. However, the things that they were doing could lead to this. And see, so you have to really understand that type of stuff just can't be tolerated. And the laws have been changed in this country. And hazing is not only just in college. You can do hazing in high school also. So hazing in and of itself really just has no place, especially in all of our organizations. It just doesn't. And it comes with education and holding people accountable.
I like something that Richard said. Just acknowledge the death of the man, but he also feels for the young men who, you know, can you hear us?
Now we can.
Okay. I love what Richard said about acknowledging not just the death of the young king, but also of those other kings and how their lives have been forever impacted. And as you said, Sean, right? The reality is that they didn't walk into this process deciding that they wanted to become a part of this organization with the intention to do harm as well. So I think that it is important to acknowledge that they are all children, but one wrong mistake can change your life forever, right? So I think that it is important to still not leave those students out. Also, I think here's something else that we have to also acknowledge, T. Ramsey, is that when individuals are becoming a part or wanting to become a part of organizations, you also have to be honest about your health.
Yeah.
Right? Because the reality is, and I'm going to say I don't know enough about this particular case to speak on it, but I'll say this. I think that sometimes because students and children want to become a part of something, they're not always honest about any kind of physical disabilities or things that they may have that can lead them to, you know, being that
more susceptible to harm.
Exactly. Yes. And that's not to justify in any kind of way, any form of hazing, but it's just to say that something may be going on, even if it's a mental thing, right? There's so many folks suffering with anxiety and things like that. So if someone doesn't know that that's something, you have severe anxiety, just some things mentally may be very difficult for you to handle where other people can handle it. So I think it's really important to have those authentic conversations, as many of you have kind of mentioned as well. It's really important. I think Anthony mentioned too, just conversation, more conversations with parents. I love the idea
I like
of
that.
partnering graduate mentors with mentees. I think that that's really important. So a lot of great suggestions that I hope folks are kind of listening to
Yeah.
as well, that can kind of help us to prevent this, because as Sean said and Richard said, we're talking about legacy here. This is
Right.
something that is supposed to exist far after we're no longer here.
Right.
And we don't want the damage to be done to minimize all the great work that has come out of the history.
And so much so that we can't even function anymore, because, you know, when each of these things happens, the lawsuits that follow, you know, it's very difficult for our organizations to get insurance, because no one wants to insure someone that may cause death to someone, you know. So, you know, it has far-reaching ramifications for all of our organizations. It really does.
And the one thing I want
I know.
to piggyback real quick, and if I apologize for interrupting, is that all 9 organizations have to be very, very wary of is that financial members versus non-financial members when it comes to insurance purposes. So I think a lot of times, sometimes, whether we know it or not, we may have some non-financial members involved in an intake process, and that could cause the insurance rates to increase by a very dramatic effect. So it's something to keep in mind when we're dealing with intake. It should only be with financial members and not non-financial. Just keep that in mind.
Great point. Great point. I'm going to turn it over to Sora.
Yeah,
I'm going to turn it over to Sora right now, and thank you for bringing that up, and because I was going to transition right to that point, Anthony. So Sora, what's your take on this? Because I know we don't hear as much about this happening in our sororities as much as we do about our fraternities. You're muted, sis. And I know you've done some research on this topic.
It's been a minute. But I think I agree with what everyone has said. And something, we did make some changes, I think, back in 1990. And one of the things that I thought was helpful in the past was the visibility of the pledges or the candidates, the initiates. Because on these HBCU campuses, you have faculty, staff, a lot of people who were Greek. So they knew who was online because you were dressed, right? Or dressed like, or you had your pledge pen or something. And when things kind of went underground, people didn't know what was going on with you. But I think one of the things, if there was some way that, I love the idea of the parental involvement, the mentors. I mean, we've put in so many things, you know, over the years. It's almost like, what more can we do, you know? But one of the things I think is more visibility of who's going through the process so that people can have their eyes on them. I remember professors saying, I need to see you after class. I'm like, yes, ma'am. You know, and Big Sister's watching, but I'm like, I'm following my professor because that's what I'm here for, you know. And she would check on me. How you doing? Hey, you want something to eat? I'm like, yeah. You want something? And if people don't know, the people who can recognize don't know. You just think, oh, this person is coming to class. Ooh, why do they look so? And they're not going to tell you. But, you know, in HBCUs, in other Black faculty on PWI campuses, where if you know somebody's going through the process, you're going to have your eyes on them a little differently and checking in on them and making sure they're okay. Now, 9 times out of 10, they lie to you. You've been there, you know, and you know you can kind of try to mitigate it in some way. But it is so detrimental for us, and I think young adults are at that stage, and college students are at that stage where they're still making bad decisions and not seeing the so hung up on having respect or being made right and all these things, and not looking past that at what this could mean if things go wrong.
Right.
And all the things that we see in the news that go wrong, there's so much more that we don't know.
Yes.
We have relationships that are broken or damaged forever because of things that go wrong. And that's not something we like to talk about, but it's very real.
Yeah.
and the secrecy of hiding that pain and the damage and the hurt. We're just starting to talk about it. There have been hurt conversations that we've had over the past year with the sororities, but I think we have to be honest and transparent when it does happen and try to change the culture, because part of it is we have to acknowledge there is a culture of oppression, right, in the process, right? And this is kind of the going through, you come out on top. Some people don't, those of us who are already members sometimes don't know the limits, right? And sometimes those pledges don't know their limits, or don't know when to say, this is my limit, I ain't doing that. I'm not gonna let that happen. And that's a conversation I think we need to have between the people who are going on into the process and the fraternity members and the sorority members who are guiding that process.
Yes, thank you. I'm going to turn that over to that same question over to Kim Yada. And I know that your experience is wasn't at an HBCU, so I think it's always great to have a perspective, right, from what happens on it, what's similar and what may be different when going to an HBCU versus a predominantly white institution.
Well, having friends while in college who participated in another sorority, predominantly white sorority compared to black sorority, the key thing I know when we came about is to talking and discussing. And what we do today, our sorority do today, we encourage parents, families to talk to us in regards to hazing and what we stand on hazing. As we all know, the Divine Nine, we are solely against hazing. But we need to make the parents and have that conversation with the parents or the loved one if their daughter or their son or their loved one is interested in participating in one of our organizations, and them to ask the question, how they can feel more comfortable allowing their child or their loved one to participate, becoming a member of our organization. But back in 1993, it was totally different than it is now, where the process for, I've seen the Caucasian sororities and fraternities, they did some really crazy things, but where we focus on our community service, knowing our history, where we came from, what is the purpose of our organization, and how we can continue on that legacy of our founders, giving back to our community, make sure we uphold our scholarships and academics, and basically, we all have those founding principles, academics, and sisterhood, brotherhood, as well as service. So just getting them to understand that's what we're about, not the negative issue about coming into our organization.
I think that we're talking about fraternities and sororities. I think across the board, there's some crazy things that have happened.
Absolutely.
Whether you're African American, at an HBCU, at a traditional white institution, and if you're in a white fraternity or sorority, I think there's been crazy.
They've had some things.
I think things happen across the board. What I will say is, I do think that the media places extra emphasis and attention on when it's happening within our traditional institutions, which is problematic, because the reality is the things that are happening are not germane to just our organizations. And so I think that would be the greater concern for me, is with the highlighting of these things just happening at African American fraternities and sororities across the country.
It also happens at the military colleges, the military schools.
Yes.
You hear about the hazing incidents there, and to your point, I think when Kamala Harris, when she was running for president, and the highlighting of the AKAs and the Divine Nine, So when something happens after that, it's like, oh, well, you know, look at these organizations. They're not so great, you know. So that's the underlying, you know, the underlying thing that comes out, that there have been deaths of students in white fraternities. And matter of fact, not even as recent as maybe the last 4 or 5 years. So, but you hear it and it's gone, you know, but it happens in all of these different organizations, but it is more detrimental when it's ours because of the legacy, and we just don't, we can't afford to mess up. We just really can't. We don't have wiggle room for messing up and mistakes, you know, a boyish prank, or he was just being, you know, how boys will be boys. We don't have, our young men and our young women don't have that luxury.
I wish that they would also share more of the praise of those positive things that happen. I know many of you have seen now that our organizations, just like the world, has become more accepting of individuals with disabilities, right? So just as recently as the last month or so, you see students with autism, right, going through their process, and people posting things like that. And I think that it's really beautiful that we understand the value and the significance in equity, right? Providing an equitable experience, right? Because things don't always look the same, but it makes sense for that individual so they can be a part of something that's for the greater good. And so I think that that's been a great experience. Sister Brenda, what is your take? I know you've gone to, you're not an HBCU student, you've gone to 2 New Jersey schools. What have you noticed having friends that have gone through HBCUs, the differences in the process?
So I think that, you know, I've visited some HBCUs with my daughter, who's an emerging college student coming the fall. And so I've had the ability to see the different plots, you know, the fraternity and sorority, I guess they call them fraternity sorority row. I don't know what they call it, but I got to see that. That comes with its own culture as well, because you're not allowed to go walk on the grass over there. You're not allowed to go sit on those different plots, or, you know, go hang out over there if you're not a part of those organizations. So it has its own unique thing there, as well as, you know, I've heard other individuals who say when they go to homecoming, they may sing their hymn in a circle and they hold hands. And, you know, if you didn't go to that school, you might not be able to join that circle. And so I know that Greek life is significant on the HBCU's campuses. I think that it's important. And I think that it allows people, hopefully, to see all the great things about the unification of the Greek life on their campuses. And like you guys have said all evening, the community service, the work, the diligence. You see these individuals, a lot of times when you go on these campuses, whether they're PWIs or HBCUs, you'll see people who are leaders of the different clubs, right? They're Greek members. And it's a really beautiful thing, because I tell people this: if you can get in front of your sorors or your frat brothers and do a report, you can present in front of anyone, because your sorors and your frat brothers are the hardest critics. Listen, they will tear you down. And so it allows you to prepare yourself for what people may say. And it allows you to always think one step ahead. And I tell people, if you learn that, you can present to the White House, you could present anywhere in the world. And that's why you see a lot of our members are leaders in these clubs. You see them after college leading in other ways. So I think that it is so significant. It's such a beautiful thing.
And it's great to have these different options, right? To not be in a position where years ago, you know, folks, if they didn't go to HBCUs, that wasn't an option, right? To see that there are so many more predominantly white institutions where children can go and they can still pledge, right? And many are legacies in their families, and they can still go through their process, right? I don't think it has to be limited to HBCU. So I think it is great that we are everywhere, just like everyone else is everywhere, right? It's also a part of making sure that our students are not dealing with culture shocks when they transition into the real world, right? So I think it's just great experiences for our young folks overall. I'm going to go back to Kabina. Kabina, what would you? Well, I want you to speak specifically about this because I know you're your state director and you also work with that organization, and Phi Beta Sigma is known for the work that you guys do with that Sigma Beta Club, right? So why don't you tell us a little bit about that? I think that that's a really important area for us to hit this evening.
Yeah, so our Sigma Beta Club started in the 50s. And we've had a robust club here in the state of New Jersey. And I'll give you a little tidbit. It's interesting to see these members that were Sigma Beta Club members in high school. And we go back to, 6th, 7th grade. We would even take a 5th grader as well. But when you see some of these young men who have now, they become fraternity members, right? And with now children who are members of the fraternity, for me, it blows your mind, and that's what should happen along the way. But our Sigma Beta Club for years, this goes back to the early 90s. The Honorable Dr. Kevin West, who some of you may know, I never forget, he would walk into regional conferences and conclaves, and he would have 60 some odd young men coming to these events. And we have to raise money and obviously to send them to these events. But a lot of those young people have become members of D9 organizations as well. So it is critically important that we continue to do that, even today more than ever. You're talking about young brother Caleb Wilson, who, he was a budding mechanical engineer that's enough out of our community. So, listen, it's about mentoring and understanding what our young people face today. And we can never be the get off my lawn kind of people, right? We've got to somehow understand and listen to them. It's different. It's different than when we were raised, when we grew up, right? And there's no such thing as pledging. It's an MIP process. And, if we do what we're supposed to do, we wouldn't put ourselves in the position we're in. But we've got to do more work. We've got to do more work, and it's backbreaking, right? Because not everybody is doing the lifting. But I think we still got to continue to go, and we got to call some things out when we see them, and we can never be afraid if we're on the right side of an issue.
I know one of my big sister sorors would always say, and she still says to this day, she'll get really bothered if someone is all about stepping and strolling, but she says, I don't see them at one community service event doing any work. I don't see them mentoring anyone. I don't want to hear anything. I want to see you strolling. She says it all the time. And she still, and she doesn't say it, she's going to give you that look to let you know that she's thinking it, right? And so I do think it's important for amazing, accomplished individuals like you to be at forums like this, to be able to share so that young folks can really hear what it's all about. Now, we're not saying young folks that it's still not enjoyable, right? And I'll say as someone who didn't have the opportunity to do it undergrad level, because we also know sometimes when we're ready to do it at the underground level, when things wrong are happening, what happens? Chapters are suspended, right? So then you wait, you don't get an opportunity, so you wait your time. But I think it's important to know that, as many of you have said, you still have opportunities outside of that, right? But with that being said, we do know the experience is still different. It is different, but it doesn't mean that you can't still enjoy the process, build relationships, build a brotherhood or a sisterhood, and know what it's ultimately about. I know my husband often says that too. Don't talk to me about that other stuff if I don't see you doing the work, right? So I think that's that's really important. Richard, did you want to jump in and say something about your mentoring program as well?
Yes. Before I do that, we had to reimagine that as well. So I know in my chapter meetings, we're constantly going back and forth, and exactly like you said, we don't want to see you. So the cues we don't step, we hop. So we don't want to see you hop in. Yeah. If you're not doing the work, so when you look at it and reimagine it, the 80 versus 80, the 80 is real. Right? So it only happens in work. So it's always a percentage of people that are doing the work, and some people are not. So there's a lane for everybody. And I tell the younger people that all the time. So you may be very skilled at running this committee and doing this work, but we do need outreach. We do need brothers on the front line with shirts on, because that brings the people in, but then we expose them to the work that needs to be done. So it's a lane for everybody. And we just reimagine and start looking at it that way, because I'm pretty sure everybody on this call can't step.
Hold on now, speak for yourself.
I still got K work, sir.
But we can all do the work, and that's just the, just looking at it from that, reimagining that, and 8 versus 80, if we keep that mindset, and the one who does the work continue to move that forward, and that can always happen. In my mentor program, I just don't expose them to Omegas. I'm exposing them to all of the fraternities and sororities. We just open up for the young women as well. And our motto is change what they see, it can change what they will be. So I love, showing them. We go to Howard, we go to different universities, to schools. We take them to meet the Greeks, just exposing them. And like we said earlier on the call, the exposure is not really there. So it's up to us to say, you know what, we're going to go to these high schools and put on. I met some of you at an event in the past where we were talking to some of the high schools and the youth. So we have to continue to do that more and control our own narrative and put our own messaging out. Because we all are doing great things in our organizations. We just have to control that narrative and keep pushing it and making sure that we build that bridge and expose our youth to the great things that we are doing.
That's right. I love it. And again, look, we know it's also about having some fun too. So we're going to sit here and say that we haven't enjoyed ourselves or we don't have fun. So we want that to be a part of the experience too. And let me say this too. Shout out to all of the predominantly white institutions that have come around more recently, and they now, have our organizations on their campuses. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah,
we live in a world that
Seton Hall didn't always have
That's
it,
right.
but now
That's
they
right.
do. Yeah,
So that is a beautiful thing to see that happening, and to see more universities. I was on out in Atlanta recently, and just being on Georgia Tech's campus and seeing the whole yard area. It's just beautiful to see, the acceptance, so that we can all respect each other and our cultural customs and beliefs. So I think that that's definitely a beautiful thing. I have one question that's pretty much like a final closeout question. I think is really important because I want to give everyone an opportunity to leave us with a few words. But I do want to say again, thank you so much for your patience. Murphy's Law is if it can happen, it can happen. And we had some technical. You can't see the grades that I just got tonight, folks. I'm definitely a type A personality and get a little flustered when things aren't going right. So thank you. I want to give a huge shout out to Seton Hall, to the campus, for sure. Clap it up for Seton Hall. Shout out to my man Mike, holding it down with the young leaders in the back, trying to help us navigate some of the technical difficulties. Every time you do something new, opportunities open up. The universe allows it. We know something's going to happen, but we know that next month we will be able to work through those kinks as well. Shout out to Chris as well. Clap it up for Chris. He's been one of our. And of course, to every single one of you for being absolutely amazing individuals within your own right. And it's not even about just being amazing African American kings and queens. You're amazing people. So I thank you so much for joining us. I want you to leave us with a final few words that you would like to share, instead of me kind of asking a specific question or making a specific comment. What is something that you would like to leave us with and leave the young folks with, and even their parents, because I know you've kind of schooled parents on some things as well this evening. And we're going to start with Brother Anthony.
Can we hear?
Can you hear us, Anthony?
Oh.
Anthony, can you hear us? All right, we're going to come back to Anthony. I think he's actually driving. Well, we just left off with Richard, so let's go with Richard.
Okay, that's something that I would like to leave the viewers with. Like we said, Greek life is more than just the letters on the shirt. It's a lifelong commitment to excellence. Know your why. Hold on to your why. Do your research and make sure that the experience, that it's going to shape you into a better leader, a stronger student. As you continue in life, you can be a better mother, a better father. Those things. So just make sure that you do your research, know your why. And it's not the organization can do for you, but you can contribute to the organization. You have a rich history in the D9. So we have to make sure that those who come behind us are building on top of that. The last thing I would like to say is, I don't know, but I've been told that the roads in heaven are purple and gold. So,
I love it. I love it. Sorry, you're up next.
Just one more thing, if I may, before I know it's my last time speaking, I would just like to say happy Women's History Month for all the women that's on the call and all the viewers there. So we just wanted to make sure that we do acknowledge you all for the hard work that you have done in the history and throughout the country and throughout the nation. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Someone raised you well, Richard. I tell you.
Very good, very good. Okay, my final word is not just the Greek letters with HBCU. I gotta call it. I loved my experience in HBCU. Best 4 years of my life. And becoming a Delta was a huge part of that. The relationships, the love, the sisterhood. A lot of my closest friends today are my sorors and other friends I made along the way who were in sororities and fraternities. One of my respondents, when I was doing my dissertation research, one of the things they said, and it stuck with me the whole time, it made you remember. It was one of the things you remembered that you went to college, because this is the thing that you carried with you. You might have changed careers, done other things, not used your degree in the same way, but when you joined that sorority or fraternity, it's just a very tight knit community. As I've moved around the country, I could always see where are my stores.
That's right. That's right.
I asked where to stay. If some emergency happened, I was like, when I was moving somewhere, I would call. And so that's a network that cannot be beat.
Mm-hmm.
It cannot be beat, no matter what kind of university you go to. It's a beautiful experience. You got to work. It's hard work. But it's good
commitment.
Lifetime commitment. It's a lifetime commitment. These organizations will work you hard. We work hard and we play hard, and it's all love.
Thank you so much, Sora. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Let's clap it up for her. I'm going to keep it rolling with the sisters right now. So let's go to Kimyara.
For the young people, as you prepare for the next chapter of your journey, I encourage you to consider the lifelong benefit of joining a D9 organization. We more than just letters and colors. We are a family committed to scholarship, service, brotherhood, sisterhood, through mentorship, leadership development. We are deep rooted in tradition of giving back. We empower our members to excel both college and beyond. Whether you join as an undergrad or later in life, the bonds that you gain will uplift, support, challenge you to become a best version of yourself.
Right. Okay.
So explore your future as being part of the legacy of excellence and part of being part of the D9 organization. Stay focused, stay driven, and always strive for greatness.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Sister Brenda. Did we lose Sister Brenda?
She's there.
Can you hear? You might be muted.
And our camera's down.
I was looking at her chat. She said she had to step away for a second.
Okay, so we're gonna go. We'll go to you. Let's go, Sean.
Oh, wow. See that? So my message to the young people would be, if you're going to consider joining a D9 organization, it's easy for how information is now. You could easily just Google or look up the information. So all of these organizations are great. Obviously, fraternity-wise, I'm going to say mine is the greatest. And excuse me, all women's dreams is to be with a man from Crimson and Cream. So,
Everybody's trying to get their plug in.
the plug. But do your research, and like I said, you can't go wrong with these organizations. And furthermore, once you have completed a MTA process or pledge process, however you want to consider it, the real work of whatever organization that you join happens after you go over, because every D9 organization is about community, it's about service, it's about giving back. So you gotta buckle up your bootstraps and roll up your sleeves to be able to want to do work. So if you want to consider being part of a D9 organization, just think about putting that work in. That needs to be done afterwards. So I would say good luck to everyone, and again, do your research.
Thank you so much, Sean. You see her? Is she back?
No. She didn't come
Okay,
back down.
so let's go on to Brother Miguel.
All right, so I got to break this down in a couple of parts. So my final thought, right? Number one, if you're considering joining a D9, make sure that you're a leader and not a follower, because a lot of people tend nowadays following crowds. And make sure you do your research so you can fit the organization that's fit for you. Number two, for the young people, don't be afraid to wear your letters. Always wear your letters, because you are representing a brand or organization and you represent yourself. Number three, do not inherit your chapters or your organization's issues and problems. And what I mean by that is it's okay to collaborate. It's okay to be friends with other D9s, because a lot of times those issues and those problems are being passed down. It causes division, it causes hate, it causes problems. And we all know that if one of us is winning, we all winning, because we all come under the same umbrella. And if one is thriving, everybody comes along. But when somebody goes down, then everybody kind of goes down in a way, because then we're being judged. And then the last thought is, if you do join, just remember that this is for life. Like my brother said, the work begins after, but at the end of the day, this is for life. And the most important thing that I'm going to leave with is that if you're so blessed to join an organization, don't be like myself, that I realized years later, it's okay to ask for help and use that network, because I was so prideful the first 7 years into the org. I was like, man, I don't need them and blah, blah. I'm going to do this. But man, that can leave you broke and it can leave you stressed out. And once you humble yourself, that you're not afraid to ask for help, even other orgs, because I'll even be honest, being an educator, it was the Delta who got me a job.
Of course.
What we do?
When I was subbing my first year before I did the program, and it was like, oh, they saw my paperwork out. Boom, she happened to be in the district. And then, of course, the AKA was the one who led the way with everything else, but it was both of y'all. But it goes back to the point that you never know who's who that's going to help you. So it's fine to ask for help. It is fine to just put the pride away for the betterment of yourself, your organization, and all of us together. That's my final thought.
Fantastic. I love the representation too. I feel like we have a nice age range, right? Yes. We're kind of this is pretty cool. Next up, Brother Kabina.
Hey, let me first thank you both for having this discussion, and best of luck with Downtown EDU Talks.
Thank you. Thank you.
Look, these are civil rights organizations. Yeah, we are fraternities and sororities, And we've been doing the heavy lifting in our communities, right, since the inception. And we've got to continue to do it. It helped me graduate from college, right? And showed me possibilities that I'm telling you, I wasn't planning on going to college. It was someone who happened to be a mentor when I was in high school. And I was in something like a fraternity in high school, and we did fraternity stuff. Parents didn't know about it.
Remember that back
You know, who said, hey, fill this application out. You're going to go to Jersey State, which was right across the street from my high school. It's not a high school in Jersey City. And being there now, watching folks who in these organizations graduate from college, well, guess what? You don't want to go to college and be that known as that great party and stepper. So you get focused, and by God, you graduate, right? And then here we all are today, better for it, better that we've had the experiences, right? So for young people, I think, yeah, do your research. I would love for everybody, every young man to consider Phi Beta Sigma. But you know what? You look at everybody. And one of the things I always, especially in today's day and age, right? What's the with them? What's the reason for a young person to join our organization? When that young person's got so much going on right now that we didn't have, right? Or some of us didn't have. Social media, where they can monetize some stuff, right? And who needs us, right? So we've got to show why we are still relevant in this community. And I think the current political climate we're in, maybe that's helping us as well to show that, yeah, we are needed and we are relevant, right? One last shameless plug. On April 9th and April 10th, there's the D9 day at the New Jersey State Capitol.
Yes.
The 9th is going to be for collegiates and high school juniors and seniors. So for you high school students, talk to your social studies teachers and the Department of Education, the New Jersey State Department of Education, send information out. And on the 10th, it's for us adults, whoever wants to come. So information is out there.
Kabina,
We'd like to see
one more time, because I wanted to put that out there too. Just say the dates quickly one more time.
So it's April 9th and April 10th. It's a 2-day event. And it's the D9 day at the Capitol, New Jersey State Capitol. On the 9th, it's going to be for high school juniors and seniors and collegiates, right? There's going to be, information on how a bill becomes law, career fair. I mean, lunch, it's free for folks who are going to be attending on the 9th. On the 10th, though, for us, we've got it's $25. And, again, we're going to have the lieutenant governor there and some of our leaders, political leaders here in the state of New Jersey. So it's our second time we're doing this. We did it last year in June, and it was well received. And we're looking to have at least close to 800 participants or attendees, I should say, this year. So critically important. And then it shows how we are working together as a group to talk about some of the important things like voter mobilization and registration, right? And healthcare, cost of healthcare and some of the other key issues that we're going to be advocating.
Thank you so much, Kabina. Well, folks, this wraps up this session of Downtown EduTalks. And for those of you,
got Brenda back on there.
Oh, Brenda's back. Oh, there you go. Okay, Brenda, we got to close out. All right, folks, we're at 9 o'clock, so we're a few minutes over. So I need a quick closeout from you, Brenda.
Absolutely. So anyone thinking about joining the organization, it's a wonderful experience. The best decision I ever made, being a member of from Pi Iota chapter undergrad, William Patterson University. But I would say that it's a shared experience that we've all had, and that makes us family. And so be prepared if I see any of our co-panelists or our hosts that I'm going to hug you when I see you, because now we're family, right? And so I look forward to that camaraderie. You guys have been absolutely amazing. And, I look forward to seeing you again in the future.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad you logged on. And don't log back off. Stay on, everyone, because we got to get a photo.
Ladies, real quick, can I have a final word for the panel and advice for y'all?
One second. Did we ever get Anthony back on?
He is on. Anthony, you're on mute though.
Can you give us your very quick, because we're a little over time, can you give us your quick final words, my friend? You couldn't hear us before.
Can you hear us now?
Can you hear us, Anthony? Okay, well, I'm going to give final words for Anthony. For all you young men out there, come join my fraternity. It's the best one in all the land. Kavina, I'm going to help you out too. For her love, may a Sigma be.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Miguel, you got 1 quick second, my brother, because I need to get this out.
For the D9 panel here, if you know somebody that's not active, your job is to reclaim them back and let them know that it's okay, that if you're not active, at least get financial, because at least that's the way to give back to your org. We got too many people that are inactive, so please let's reclaim them, because that's what I'm doing for my fraternity. Operation Project Reclamation. At least they're giving back to Alpha if they're not active. Just try to reclaim somebody. There's a lot of them out there.
That was great. Actually, that was a great close. This is Behind the Letters, Navigating Greek Life. A special thank you to each and every one of you. You're absolutely amazing. Thank you for helping us transition to our new home. Our first group here at Seton Hall's campus. So thank you so much. Shout out to Mike, Fonsdale, the whole crew. I don't remember your name. I appreciate you. Through the conventional fabric of urban education with a razor sharp wit and a touch of scholarly sass. Dr. T. Ramsey and Dr. Passion signing off. Peace and blessings to all of you. Oh, thank you so much. We're so sorry, guys, for the technical issues. I can't apologize enough for you. But I do hope that you enjoyed the experience.